Okay, here we are. This is lesson 4 of how to draw a Shelby Daytona Coupe. And forgive me if you hear fireworks in the background. This is Saturday the 5th, but some people apparently didn't shoot off enough yesterday. There's one of them. And they just been going off all evening. So sorry if you're going to have to listen to that. Anyway, what I'm doing is I'm working back more on the side of the car. I want to get to the darkest parts of the car, and so I'm doing that, working toward the rear. And when I get some of that lined out, I'm not going to get all the way done on the side, I don't think, but I want to do some more in the front too, because there's a big shadow underneath the car, and I want to make that as dark as it should be, and that'll allow me to work around the lighter parts, knowing that the darkest parts have already been taken care of, and then I can work one value against another one. So that's how it goes. Oh boy, these fireworks! I didn't even try to record last night. It was just crazy here from any time before even the sun went down. They were shooting off fireworks. So unfortunately, and it's just too hot to close the place up completely. So unfortunately, you're gonna have to listen to it. But anyway, as you can see here, I'm working on the area around the exhaust pipes too, the exhaust pipes and mufflers. And then I'm going to start on the door and then come back up here again and work on the area underneath the nose of the car, between the nose and the front wheel. That's going to be pretty dark. There's a really hard cast shadow underneath there, and I want to make sure I get that done. That is going to give the car some depth, and it'll show you that it's actually sitting there on the ground. So that's going to go a long way towards selling this as being a three-dimensional drawing. Okay, like I say, here I am working on the door, driver's side door. And that looks like I'm doing a line, but of course this is time lapse and it's squeezed up 4 times. So I'm really just doing dots. You can see that those are separate dots if you look at it fairly closely. But when I do it like this, it looks as if it's a line, like I'm just doing it straight up and down. But I'm not. If you watch the end of the pen, you can see it jumping up and down, and that's because as I'm moving, I'm touching it down on every time as a dot. Okay. There we go. Now I'm going to work on the shadowing underneath the car. I like to get a zone kind of done, or at least started, so that I can figure out where I am. I don't want to bring the whole car out at one time. I'd like to do separate areas, and then I can, like I said, I can work one area against another one. And the places that I just put the dots in on the side, on the door and stuff, that's only one layer, and I'm going to go back and put more layers on there too. Yeah, there I could see that it wasn't quite full, evenly full, so I put some more in. But see, this is what I'm talking about right here. The way I'm trying to do this is to make it dark underneath the hood and in front of the tire, because that's a really hard cast shadow from the back. And then from there I'm going to put the lighter areas in, and then we'll work one value against another one to make this thing really look good. This is a great looking car, and I want to make sure I do a good job with it. When I first saw these things, I just thought that was one of the smoothest, most beautiful cars I'd ever seen. And to think that it started out the same thing as a Cobra. I mean, Cobras are nice looking too, but Cobras are kind of brutish, and this thing is sleek and really nice looking. And the aerodynamics of this car were far superior, of course. Originally, that was the idea, was that they needed a car for high-speed tracks and long-distance endurance racing. And the Cobra just wasn't up to it. It was okay for sports car racing and kind of sprint races and moderate length races. But when it got to the 12-hour and 24-hour races, on long tracks where they could get up to 200 miles an hour or more, the Cobras were just suffering such a top end shortfall that they couldn't compete. So what they did is they they asked Pete Brock to come up with a design for the body, and he just came up with this thing, and in the good old seat of the pants kind of engineering thing, from what I heard, and it just worked from the beginning. A beautiful car. Okay, here we are getting down toward the end of it right now, but you can see where I'm going. I'm putting the shadow underneath the car now, and I'm going to put that up to the tire, and that'll make everything stand out. It'll show the outline of the car and everything else. Anyway, I hope to see you back here tomorrow. We're going to do quite a bit more. Thank you very much. Bye.